here's Brody Brazil.
If you've got a great question or comment or contribution for this YouTube channel that I need to hear, then you need to call it in, like right now, at 1-833-4-BRODY. It goes straight to voicemail. I listen to all of your calls, and then I get to respond to the very best ones here in future videos.
Hey, Brody, it's Brandon. I live kind of in between Tampa and Orlando along the I-4 corridor. So I'm definitely invested in this Tampa Bay Rays, Orlando Dreamers drama that's been happening over the past few months.
I get it.
My question for you is this. What if the Orlando Dreamers are able to secure a stadium deal in Orange County before the Rays can get a stadium deal finalized under their new ownership in the Tampa area? I would think that MLB, if a stadium deal is approved in Orlando without a team, would kind of poke the Rays and move them over to Orlando. What are your thoughts on that?
Brandon, that's interesting. And I'll tell you what else is also thought-provoking. Isn't all of this like history repeating itself? Is Orlando about to do what Tampa did to get a Major League Baseball team? St. Petersburg built the, Suncoast Dome is what Tropicana Field used to be called. They built that stadium without even having a team. And they thought the White Sox might move to Tampa. They thought the Mariners might move to Tampa. They were pretty certain that the San Francisco Giants were going to move to St. Petersburg. Obviously, none of that happened. And eventually, Major League Baseball granted the Rays as an expansion franchise. So could Orlando actually pull a Tampa or St. Pete and just build the stadium before they actually have the team in hopes that it could be the draw? It could be ready for the moment's notice that they could get a team somehow, some way, expansion, relocation, whatever. Should they do this just to be ready? Should Orlando follow Tampa's blueprint? Yeah, from the late 80s. Just build it. Is it that simple? I think that's what you're saying, because I also understand that if Orlando has a ballpark that's ready to go, and if there is a delay, which, I don't know, it's hard to predict, right? The Rays are reportedly being sold, and that is going to be secured by the end of next month, September. And Tropicana Field is supposed to be all fixed up by April of 2026. The roof is going to be back on and complete by December. The field is back in after that. So if all that goes according to plan, the Rays will have Tropicana Field back. It's going to be expensive. They're still not going to love Tropicana Field as their permanent, new, forever home, but at least it is somewhere safe and secure that can buy them some time. But I do have to say that if Orlando has a brand new shiny ballpark, for whatever the process is, like wherever it's at in Tampa or St. Pete, if Orlando has something brand new and beautiful and it's all built, then of course that's going to add some external pressure to any kind of process that's going on in St. Pete or Tampa. Now, it may not mean as much if the new ownership group comes in, they're super competent, even if it takes them an extra 6 months or year and a half. So long as there's progress and they're moving forward, I don't think many people will think twice about that. They'll just realize that it takes a while to get something permanent and the way you want it. So I don't know that the pressure is actually going to be tangible or worthwhile for Orlando, but they'll still have it. And here's the other part about it. Suncoast Dome was built, Tropicana Field was built, as a multi-purpose venue because, well, if they didn't get baseball, they could host other events there. Play a football game, play a college basketball game, play hockey there. You could pretty much do anything inside that building. And I fear that Orlando would have to do something similar for the just-in-case factor. If you custom build this for baseball and you don't get baseball and you could do something else, you could get some money out of it, some return, but you can't because of the configuration. That's a difficult situation. So if Orlando does this, it's going to have to be in kind of a broad strokes way. Would it provide some pressure? I guess, but I just don't know if if the juice is worth the squeeze. Probably the best way to put it. Also, how would the new Rays ownership structure, how would that tandem with anything that's going on in Orlando? If you are still talking about the Rays in Orlando, which I don't know that many people are right here, right now, I think even if you're in Orlando, you're better focused and better poised on seeking expansion or seeking another team as a relocation participant than you are the Rays, because it feels like they're finally getting settled. It feels that way. Until it's done, it's not done, but it feels that way. How would that new Rays ownership structure, how would it work with an Orlando group? They've already built the stadium. Like, does Orlando need to own the team a little bit? Or why would this Tampa-focused group move it out to Orlando? Like, there's just a lot of things here that don't line up. Intentions and financials, and a lot of that stuff just doesn't make sense. I would also have to think that the Rays group purchasing this team has discussed it either legally with Major League Baseball or even in a handshake agreement. That, wait a second, if we're going to buy the Tampa Bay Rays, and Orlando is a separate market, technically, right up the road, they're 90 miles north on I-4, you'd have to think that any group in Tampa is going to say, if we're buying this team for $1.7 billion, we want to make sure that we don't get new neighbors that encroach upon our fan base, our territory, our region, what we're trying to do. Right now, if you're in Orlando and you want to see Major League Baseball, you're probably making the drive to Tampa or St. Pete. So the Rays' new owners probably are assuring themselves that, and assuring it with baseball, that they get the rights to that territory, that it's up to them whatever happens there, and that expansion may be super difficult in Orlando because the team in Tampa has kind of put their footprint down already in the region. You would have to think that's part of the conversation and process. I don't know that for certain, but it would probably come with the territory. So those are my thoughts. Orlando's in a very difficult spot right now. The Dreamers I'm talking about, the future, the potential of Major League Baseball in Orlando. A couple months ago, it looked like a possibility when so many things were up in the air, when Stuart Sternberg was unknown to be selling the team or not. Reportedly, he's got his new group. They're lining things up. They're crossing the T's, they're dotting the I's, and this new group wants to keep the team in Tampa. I know they might still face some challenges and hurdles in constructing a new stadium, but if everybody's focused and this really is a clean slate in the Tampa Bay region, I think the Rays are most likely to stay. And I think it's going to be even harder for Orlando to get a team because you don't want somebody else moving into that territory and kind of becoming your neighbor when that didn't have to happen. So I know the Dreamers are moving forward. Office space, Barry Larkin's hard at work. The ownership group is trying to make things happen. They are doing diligent work. It's just a very tough climb right now, I think, for the Dreamers in their scenario and situation. But hey, the commissioner was just talking about expansion. It's interesting. Nashville's out there. Charlotte's out there. Portland and Utah are out there. We didn't really hear much about Orlando being in that mix, in that conversation. How about Montreal in that very same conversation? So a lot of moving parts here. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Also, a thumbs up while you're down there. Helps me, the video, and the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you back here next time.